camaraderie. Well, yeah, okay.
How you carry yourself and present yourself and all that.
Right, exactly. So the actual word culture is a group of people that all kind of share something of like interest. So here, in this particular office, in this particular company, in the world of real estate that we live in, we try to focus on culture. What's great about this company is why I ended up here, and I know that's why Kristen Benny came over here, was because it has great culture. Now, culture has to be supported by everybody, agreed? Say yes? Yes. So, if we don't support the culture, then the culture starts to suffer, and then the culture is no more. Because everything has to be the same, it has to be like. So everybody has to kind of treat it the same way. When you walk into the Market Center, and I'll encourage you to do this after we're done, there is a list of things that is literally etched on the wall. Things like win-win, stay in curiosity, trust comes from honesty, like all of that thing. That is the culture in this office. So culture and ethics obviously fall in line with each other. Now when I say ethics to you, what does that say to you?
Doing the right thing.
Right, perfect. What else?
Morals, I guess.
Morals, love that. Okay. What else? Ethics.
Following the rules or keeping compliance.
Keeping compliance. Yeah, one more. When I say ethics.
How we treat others,
Okay.
whether with our team or not culture.
Right. So a real simple way to see if you're falling in line with what ethics are is, you've all heard this since you were little kids, some of us longer than others, treat people the way you want to be treated. Pretty friggin' simple. Like, I think we're all taught that at a very, very, very young age. So if you're being ethical, you wouldn't necessarily want to say something about somebody or evaluate somebody that would upset them. Better than that, if they said that about you, would it upset you? That's really what ethics is. Now, the beauty of this whole thing is in my past life, ethics was huge because we were coaching athletes, and we were non-solicit, or we can solicit actually here, which is great. Like, you can go out there and pimp yourself out for business. We were not allowed to do that at all. So to be an example, like, I could not go up to an athlete and go, if you work with me, I'll get you to the Olympics, because the coach that you're with right now is not doing a good enough job. We weren't allowed to do that. So then you would think, well, how do you market yourself? Ethics, ethics, ethics. You had to show yourself as being a very respectable, a very honest, a very driven mentor for these young athletes. And every time you throw a product out there and it skated clean and it won a competition, then people scurry to you. But you were not allowed to throw yourself out there. So ethics was kind of like on steroids back then. So we have a little bit more of a looser arrangement here because we're allowed to self-promote. But you have to do it within those ethical boundaries. So as we peel back the layers of all this, so we've identified what culture is, and we've identified what ethics are. So ethics, let's go culture. Culture within the team, how would that show up? How does that look to you?
I think we have good culture now.
Great culture, I agree. What else?
Working together.
Working together, right? What else?
Learning from each other.
Learning from each other, love it, love it, love it. Keep going.
Being a family.
Being a family, right? Right?
Motivational.
Motivational. Okay, there's one word I'm kind of looking for. You can find it.
Inspirational.
Close, but right. Support, right? So we all support each other. So is it always going to be easy? No. Is it going to be challenging at times? Yeah. Are we all going to stay on the same team? Yes. So we're allowed to disagree. We're allowed to kind of face those challenges together. We're allowed, as long as we always stay on the same side. So that's your culture on your team. What about your culture in your market center? How does that show up? That one's a little trickier.
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
we speak freely.
Completely.
It's not the same as it was.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
It could use some improvement. I felt like we were more unified,
Mm-hmm.
especially when we were at the other office. I
Okay.
feel like the way the office is set up kind of breaks it up a little bit.
Okay.
And it feels like I feel like we don't see anybody all day unless they come use the copy.
Just because you're not
So-
here.
Mhm.
Right, well,
Right.
that too, I feel like we're really the only steady components at this office
We
at
are.
this point.
We
Which-
clearly are.
Which, saying that, I've been told by several people that you guys are great, you guys,
I want to be like you guys are. So,
I-
to me, that shows that we, at least Dream Team has the culture.
Yeah, that we're upholding that culture.
And people look up to us.
To Betty's point, I get the same thing. Oh my gosh, you guys are doing your own thing back there. We had an agent that was a capping agent, like a full capping agent, that left the market center and went to another market center in Strongstone. And they were very, very sad to, they were very, very sad to see her go. And so I called her, because we're friends. We were sitting on the Agent Leadership Council together. And I said, why'd you go? Like, why would you just pick up and leave? Like, first of all, I'm gonna be completely selfish. I don't get to see your beautiful face every day. And secondly, I would have pulled you onto the team, which would have been a great asset to us. And her answer to it was culture. Culture used to be a certain way, and now it's kind of like slipped away. To capitalize on that, she goes, now I know you guys, the Dream Team, do things your own way. You have culture. However, I don't feel as though that culture is being resonated to the rest of the market center. Make sense? So, there's a couple things that we can do with that. First of all, we maintain and protect our own culture within the team, because it will start to flourish its way outward, so that we're actually contributing to rebuilding the culture in the market center. Make sense? By being ethical. So, the culture in your office, are the other agents, individual agents and other teams, are they your direct competition?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right? So, have you ever heard the term, my friend Stacy Watson, playing nice in the sandbox? Don't throw sand in the sandbox, whatever that is. Okay, so that's a real good juvenile way to like put that into place and say, sure, you're all playing together, but play nice in the sandbox within the culture of Keller Williams. So the way that we're taught by the people that you see on the wall, all the mastery training is to be metaphoric, you don't eat your own. Like if you know somebody else at Keller Williams Greater Cleveland West has a listing, you don't try to step over them or step on their head for personal gain. You try to support it. If it's somebody that is not a Keller Williams agent, there's an opportunity that you can captivate something. Stay ethical, stay in culture, but it is a business, like you're trying to make money. So those are very, very fine lines. Now, does everybody in this market center follow that culture? Probably not. However, do you have control over handling that culture yourselves? Yes, you do. Your thoughts about that?
I like it.
Okay, what else?
I agree.
Agreed.
Going and checking out Russell last week when the guy called me, and I realized that was way different than this, and I'm very happy to be here. I would never go back there.
Confirmed decision made, okay? What else? So the thing that I like about this is kind of our model, so we can contribute to it. We can make it bigger, better, greater, and that's something that we all agree upon. We're already kind of doing it here team-wide, but we're not doing it, maybe we could be doing it better market center-wide. Industry-wide, of course. So I want to talk about social media. So, in line with your culture. When you post something on social media, don't you feel as though that's a direct correlation to you, who you are? Agreed. Okay. So, if I may, I have a policy with my social media. When I became a realtor, because I was a skating coach before, I was like, I can't be all over social media because I have young people that I'm mentoring that cannot see me partying, drinking, dancing, doing anything that doesn't look like all I do is go home and watch ice skating videos and get up in the morning and I have no life. Because they're holding you as an example, and I keep referring back to that. So I was all the way against social media. As soon as I became an agent, I was being beat on. You gotta get on Facebook, you gotta get on Facebook, you gotta get on Facebook. Resistance. I was like, I don't want to be on it. Like, if I want to talk to my friends, I'll call them. If I want to get together and go to a party, I'm going to go. Like, why does everybody have to know what I'm doing at any given time? So I caved, clearly, and because I realized that this is part of my marketing, this is my way of reaching out to people so that they go, oh my gosh, Mark's so excited about his new job at Keller Williams, he's a real estate agent, did you know that? This is what Mark's doing now, and it got me out there, and it was hugely beneficial. However, I have policy. You rant 3 times, and you're out. 3 rants, 3 nasty, subjective, religious, political, taking out your personal feelings about something like 3 times, and you're out. So this is why. So I'm involved in a transaction with Warm Sphere people, selling a big house on the golf course, moving to a smaller house in Bay Village, and this is real life. So they decide that they want to start to move their things in early, because you know that transition can be tricky, which you and I will go over in detail on how exactly that works, where it can kind of domino. Everybody else that has experience knows how this works. So the agreement was that he was going to move some boxes into the basement of the house, and the seller agreed, because there was a lot to move. So he was going to move some prior to closing, like probably like 2 or 3 days before closing. So my warm super was like, can I do this, can I do this, can I do this? I was like, I will ask, though I'm not customarily comfortable with people doing that stuff until it closes. And this is why, so learn from my mistake. So I said, okay, go ahead, we'll do that. I said, the seller is going to meet you there, unlock the property, you move the boxes in, when you're done, they will come back around from around the corner and they will lock it back up. So that you have your things in the basement, in the box, God forbid something goes wrong, all you have to do is pick it up, scoop it up, and take it out, if something falls through. So this person decided, the husband of the husband and wife decided that not only is he going to bring boxes, but he's going to build shelves, shows up with a boom box, has a 6-pack and a bong, let's keep it real, and decides that he's gonna hang out in the basement and build shelves and start to make it his own without letting anybody else know about it. Yeah, real life. So he goes there, and of course, what do you think happens? The co-bro calls me and she's freaking out. Her hair is like out to here, freaking out. Like, you know, my seller is furious. The basement smells like weed. There's a 6-pack. He's like, got building material to put shelves together. Like, this is not what we agreed upon. And she freaks out. Well, of course. So I scoop my big butt up and I drive to the house and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This was not the agreement. Well, what's the big deal? You know, we're going to close anyway. Like, well, these are your rules that was not mutually agreed upon. So I said, collect up the bond and the 6-pack and the building materials and get out.
So he was still there?
It was still there. When I got there, the owner of the property is standing at the end of the driveway like this, waiting for me just to launch into me, right? So this is a horrible story, clearly, right? So got him out of there, and now, of course, so he's a little offended, a little upset for my millennials in the crowd, no disrespect. He, you know, all of a sudden he's affected because, you know, he got his hands smacked because he didn't get his way. So what does he do? Goes on social. Of course, of this rant, it said something along the lines of, now I know what a double stuffed Oreo feels like on social media. So you know what that means. Don't need to be graphic. That's disgusting, first of all. So what do you think happens next? 8 o'clock in the morning, there's the co-bro calling me. Like, I got an instant message from him, and then it was posted, you need to check your client. Now, does it get more horrible than that, really? Now realize people are supposed to be
So this other
cooperating.
agent also was on Facebook with this, your
An
client?
instant message the agent with the post at 2 in the morning, then turned around and posted it public.
Oh, sounds like he took the party home.
So exactly. Exactly. Do you see what I mean? Like, and again, this is real life, guys. You can't make this shit up. Sorry to use the profanity. Like, so literally I had to call and say, what did you do? What do you think the response was? I'm gonna let you guys run with this for one hot second. What do you think the response was?
What do you mean?
Right, keep going. What else, what do you think the response was?
I didn't do anything wrong.
Nice.
Yeah,
What
what's
else?
the big deal? It's not a big deal.
Okay, how about this? What are you talking about? I didn't do that. Dude, it's in writing, I have it in front of me, I'm looking at it. So, sure enough, I was like, can I put you on speaker? Sure, put him on speaker, and I pulled it up and I said, Schmo, at 2:38 a.m., and I read it. And silence on the other side, like, you got caught, you put it in writing, like, did you get drunk and send it? Like I said, the co-broker already called me, like, this could blow the whole deal. You got people moving into your house in 2 days that you may, they may go, you know what, I'm not signing at the closing table because, you know, it pissed me off, whatever it was. So, as it turns out, point being is like, did the whole nasty, horrible rant and unfriend, because I can not as somebody like you on my social media that would do something like that because that's a reflection on me. So there, harsh story. So use your social media any way you want to. What most people do is like their social stuff, they take a different name. So they'll go like, you know, Mark Anthony is my social page, and then Mark Lang is my more business page, whatever it is. So be very, very conscious of that because it is a reflection on you. Be very careful what you post and how you post it.
And remember, even your personal stuff, people are gonna find you.
So if you were going to buy a car, buy a business, and you were selling it, somebody was selling it to you, what's the first thing that most people do? We go on Facebook. Let's see what they're about. If you're out at the club and you're interested in somebody and you know what their name was, and you might, are they single or are they not? What's the first thing you do? You pull up their Facebook, right? And we'll take it completely out of real estate. Like, that's something that is going to obviously show up. So be very, very careful that you're protecting your social media so that it is contributing to your business, because people are looking, it's like a live resume.
That's why
ultimately.
teachers and different government people are allowed out.
They're not allowed to have them. Do you know that government officials all have to carry Blackberries? You probably know this, with no cameras. They're not allowed to have cameras on their phone. Did you know that? Interesting story. Right, can't do it. Like, no cameras up. All of their phones have to be certified, and they cannot have cameras on them because they can't, because obviously you can circulate things. Everything is on such lockdown. Questions about any of that? Right, exactly, that's it.
I read an article actually about Facebook, and even on your pages, like I do mostly business stuff, they say you should, unless you're a hothead alcoholic, you should be putting some of your personal stuff that's nice so people know who you are. And I know personally, I don't do that because I know my wife is against having her face anywhere on social media.
Should have
But
to.
I'm a big family person. But at the same time, people don't know that about me by seeing my photos. So it says to really start incorporating some of your
Yeah,
positive
some of your personal stuff. Now, some of you that follow me, I'm not sure if you do, but generally, almost every day, I put something on Facebook that's like inspirational, or, you know, it's very thought-provoking, or whatever it is. So, and it's not just because that's who I am. It was a mastery exercise that I had to do with my mastery coach. I was fortunate enough to have a mastery coach once a week, 12:30 on Wednesdays. And when I say it, like, I feel like I'm starting to sweat because it was horrible. I mean, she's wonderful, she was great, and she ramped up my business, but it was horribly uncomfortable because she would just basically for 30 minutes just call me out on all my stuff. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You set this goal. Why aren't you doing it? What's going on? What happened? You know what I mean? So it was uncomfortable. But one of the exercises she gave me was every day for 1 month, I want you to put like something that will get your mindset right. So like come from contribution, tell somebody you love them today, like whatever it is, if you follow them. And it's stuck. It's been 3 years. And I keep doing it. So it's become part of my mantra. You know what I mean? Like if you say affirmations in the morning, which I'm hoping you guys, we can kind of reacquaint that so that you wake up every day with a good mindset. Most of you know, in our house, it's gonna be a day. And the counterpart will say, what kind of a day is it gonna be? And the other one has to say, it's gonna be a great day. Now, sometimes it comes out like that, and sometimes it comes out like, it's gonna be a great day. You know, because I've already like had to deal with the dog, and my shirt's wrinkled, and I feel like crap, and I'm running late because you're in the shower, it's gonna be a great day, but you kind of find yourself in that place. So however those things show up, you wanna make sure that we are coming in here to your safe zone that's filled with ethics and culture, that you can build your business and feel as though that we're supported. This is the beauty and the luxury of being on a team. You're not standing out there by yourself, naked in the rain, where everybody's pointing their finger at you laughing. Now that was graphic. So, thoughts about that? All right, so let's do some examples. So, I need volunteers. Who's it gonna be? I'm gonna be one of them today, though. You guys can just do it all the time. So, who wants to be my guinea pig? What's the scenario? I'm not gonna tell you. See how gutsy you're feeling. Nice. All right, good. Come on up here. Okay, so this is how I'm going to tee this up. So, good morning. I already called you out. Okay, so What this is going to be is I am going to bash another agent. I'm going to bash the person that listed my house, and I'm going to project it onto him to kind of do that whole, like, and I had actually somebody do this to me, where they were like, I'm not gonna list my house with some real estate agent. But they wanted me to come to their house, tell me what I thought, tell me how I thought it should be priced. This is somebody I went to high school with, and I was like, forget it, dude, I'm not doing that. Some real estate agent? Are you hearing yourself? Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, so you're gonna list my expired.
All right,
Ready?
okay.
Let it rip.
So, I mean, this is just the interview, like, we're just now.
You're going on an appointment on an expired.
All right, so I guess, I don't even know how to start this out.
Ding dong.
It's 4 o'clock, I'm here.
Right. All right, so what are you looking to get out of this meeting today?
Well, you know, you're a real estate agent. I've had bad experiences with you all because you all are overpriced and overpaid, and, you know, I'm not even sure why you're here.
Oh, wow, you know, that's a shame that you've had some bad experiences. Can you elaborate on those a little bit more? What?
Yeah, my agent never called, like, put a sign in the yard, like, you know, we try to get, you know, people in here, like, you know, I was expecting him to go out there and drag people from the street into my house to buy it, he didn't do it. You know, it just, you know, the whole experience was horrible, so I'm allowing you to come in, but I don't even know why I'm doing it.
Oh, yeah, that sounds terrible, you know, the lack of communication, you'll find that's pretty prevalent amongst other realtors. However, myself, I keep really good communications with my clients. What would a good communicating relationship sound like to you? How often would you like to be called?
I'd like to be called at least once a week, and, you know, it was listed for 9 months, but I think I got 2 phone calls.
All right,
Like, what's that about? Like, just because you exist, I'm supposed to pay you? Is that how this goes?
Right, and absolutely not. No, you shouldn't just pay someone just for not doing anything at all. Obviously, I want to provide you with the service and get your house sold, and I want it to be a smooth, pleasant.
So how do you plan on doing that? What makes you different from everybody else?
So, I mean, we'll stick with the communication for right now and move on from there. You said that they didn't communicate that well with you. You said once a week. Now, when you say once a week, do you want it on Mondays? Do you want once a week, Monday through Friday? Do you want it at the same time?
I'd like to be on Monday mornings.
Monday mornings? All right, I'll just go ahead and I'll set a reminder right now to call you at 11 o'clock every Monday morning, so that's out of the way.
So what is going to be the consequence if I don't hear from you on Monday mornings?
Well, the consequence obviously is up to you. I would like to know what your consequence is. If I'm unable to, hopefully that I'm able to give you a heads up and then we can plan something accordingly.
Perfect.
Now, on top of that, you said on Monday, if we have a showing on Wednesday, do you want me to call you Thursday after 24 hours, or do you want me to just wait till Monday? Because I don't want to blow your phone up either.
You know what, if there's something pertinent that I need to know about, if an offer comes in on a Wednesday, then call me on Wednesday. Otherwise, you can wait till Monday. 'Cause I'm busy, and you know what, this is what I'm paying you to do.
All right, that's great. So I'll go ahead and make sure that that's noted, and that's the way we'll handle it.
So what's gonna make you different from that other horrible agent that is overpriced and didn't do anything for me and wasted all my time?
Well, as we see, I'm already we have a communication plan set, so we have standards set in place. As far as the showings go, do you know how many people are looking at your house right now in this area at this
Never
price
heard a
range?
word about anybody or anything.
Oh, that's great, because I actually brought with me some market statistics right now. And it does say that in this area, in your price range, there aren't too many people looking at your house. However, I'm hoping to tap into that market, or we will tap into that market, and we'll expand from there and see if we can bring some more people into the market. And we do that by advertising and marketing your home.
Well, I'm hoping that you can stand behind what you're saying, because, you know, I don't have a whole lot of faith in you guys. I think that you're horribly overpaid.
Well, I mean, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I really hope to prove that different. I really want to make sure that I earn the money that I make, and that we come out of this with a pleasant experience.
Perfect. Look at this stuff right there. Wow,
Yeah, very good.
that was good. Wow, that was good. Okay, you can sit. Now notice, that was really good, that was really good. Okay, so notice, like, I kept throwing the hard stuff at him, and like, much like he carries himself, he's like, yep, whatever, going back to what's important, yep, whatever, not gonna bash the other agent, yep, this is how we do it, sorry you had a bad experience. Now, if you were to be critical of what he did, like, what would you like to see more of? This is where I want you guys to participate, because you guys listen to me talk all the time, so.
Maybe tell a little bit more about some of the marketing things that find out what marketing, if they say the other agents did no marketing, I'm sure it's part of the presentation, but I would touch base a little bit more on my marketing and then say, when we sit down, I put together a great presentation for you today that I'd love to show you what we do different than all the other agents.
Perfect. Good, what else? What else?
Maybe ask questions like, what do they know the other agent did do or didn't do, or what would they like to have seen
Right.
done?
Sure, sure. Sophia?
I would definitely ask their strengths, so it doesn't sound like you're bashing them. Say, what did he do that appealed to you that you thought was wonderful? And then go from there. And then when you lead to the second part, you say something to the effect of, touch on what they did great, and then even it out with, well, even though this
It's great, and
transpired.
I
the way
feel
you
for you,
did."
and I want to try to do everything I possibly can to change your feelings about this. How does somebody win with you? How does somebody lose with you? I want to know right up front, so I have something to work with, so that we never have to address that. So that's where you really got to dig deep with the contribution thing. Like, I'm here for you. You are my priority. I will facilitate whatever you want me to do to get this job done. What else? What else could he done a little bit better? My new people. What do you think? Nothing? Nothing? Go on, you got something?
I thought it was really good.
No, it was great, no, it was really, really good. The only thing that I would say is something to consider, and you tell me your thoughts about this, just my view. Maybe try to crawl on his side a little bit more. Try to be a little bit more like, oh man, wow, I'm just so sorry to hear this, because this is not how it's supposed to go. Now, you're not bashing the other agent, but you're creating some level of empathy towards their experience, and you want to do the best that you can to make sure that that does not match, that experience does not show up the same way. All right, so let's do one more. Let's do it. I picked up Brendan yesterday. So, Sophia, come on up. Christian, you're the disgruntled person.
I'm the disgruntled person?
Yes. And Sophia is going to be the savior. All right? Okay, guys, go at it.
Does it matter am I still on the last agent subject?
Yes, so
Okay.
you had your house listed for 9 months.
Okay.
You fired, we'll spruce it up a little bit. You fired your agent.
Ooh,
And now you agreed to have her come in and pitch you.
that's on a great listing for this happened.
Okay?
Okay, okay, come sit down, let's talk, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do different than everyone else.
Well, our team, we do what we can to get your home sold as a unit all together. You have a great team working together to get your home sold, to get it marketed. Now, let me ask you some questions as far as, it's a joint interview basically.
Absolutely, okay.
I want to know how your experience with your last agent was, and how can I win with you, and how can I lose with you, because I want to make sure this is a great experience for you
Awesome. Well, what company again are you with?
with the Dream Team at Keller Williams.
Keller Williams. Okay, I had a Keller Williams agent before and I was not too fond of them.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so she, she said she was gonna list my house, I didn't want to sign in the yards, we didn't put a sign in the yard, and, every time we had a showing, there was always a different agent. She wasn't showing my house. I don't think she was doing anything for my house, so how is that gonna be different?
Well, it is customary for agents to bring their clients over to see your home. That is their job. Our job is to market your home to the best of our ability and to make sure that all those agents get a chance to bring their buyers to your home.
So you'll be bringing buyers through the home?
Our team will do that as well.
Okay, but I mean, for every appointment, are you gonna be bringing the buyers through? Because
No.
so you,
Yeah, it's other agents that bring their clients through to see your home, and I know it seems like you would like us to do that, but that is their job as well.
Okay.
That's our job, to make sure that your home gets in front of everyone who has buyers, not just our buyers, which makes it a better contender for a better offer.
okay, well, and my last agent, so communication was big, they only called me every so many weeks, I wanted to at least hear what's going on, at least an update or a phone call or something, so.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't do the texting thing, I only do the call. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so.
Well, what times work better for you, so you'd like these updates? I know you work and I know you're busy, so I want to make sure that I'm accommodating your schedule so we have time to chat and get
Okay,
those updates in.
okay, that sounds pretty, that sounds doable, okay, I like that. So, so what else do you do differently? Because, you know, I just had a really bad experience with the agent last time, and I feel I can sell this on my own, so I don't, at this point.
Well, what was it that you didn't like that you did? I mean, I'm sure she had wonderful qualities, so let me know what she did that you did enjoy, so that way we can make sure we can incorporate that into our marketing plan and do some things a little differently to make you happy.
Okay, well, she, you know, I wanted to have an open house, and she never did an open house. So what do you, can you do that differently? Can we do something about that?
Yes, absolutely, we can do an open house, and we'll do it, you know, as needed, anytime, you know, we get your home listed, or we have a difference in pricing, or anything to that nature, we will have an open house. We want to make sure that we're marketing it to its full ability.
Okay, and then for pricing wise, so I'm at 124,000, and I feel my house is worth it. So what do you think about price? Where do you think we're at on price?
Well, you know, we can definitely start at that price and see how the market reacts to that price, because ultimately the market is what determines how your home gets sold. So we would definitely start it at the price that you would like, go from there. You know, in 22 days, we'll go ahead and give it a review, see how many showings you've had, what type of feedback we've had, and then adjust
After 21
accordingly.
days, why do you say 21 days? My agent never called me after 22 days.
Well, you have to be on top of what the market is doing, and you don't want your home to go stale. You don't want to just leave it sitting at that price with no activity. So what we would do is review it within that time frame and say, okay, we've had 2 showings, we need to change that and change the price, you know, adjust it so it works with the market, so we can go ahead and get your home sold for you, which is ultimately the goal.
Oh, so you mean you don't set the price? That's not.
Well, the market determines the price. So we would go over everything that's happening in the market and say, this is exactly the price that your home would sell at, but we all know that, you know, that's how we start. We go by what the market is doing. Unless you're not comfortable with that number, then, you know, we'll
All right,
discuss.
I like the majority of things you're saying, I like what you're about, but we gotta talk, what about commission? Because, you know, I gotta take the proceeds from this house, and I need to buy a little ranch, this is too big for me, it's just me, and it's too much work anymore.
Well, our commission is 7%. And trust me when I tell you that we do everything we can to get your home sold. We don't just throw a sign in the yard and let it sit and hope and pray for the best.
All right, well, my last agent did it for 6 though, so, and they were Keller Williams too, so.
And your home did not get sold. So their within shows that they weren't as motivated as we are to get your home sold.
Okay. So I only pay the 7% if and when my house sells, because I want my house to sell, I need to move.
Yes, and we will make that happen.
Okay.
Good job, guys. Very good, very
Being
good.
nice.
Yeah, that was
That was
good,
nice.
yeah.
That was like a listening point I went on
Way to go, Christian.
2 weeks ago. She's
Right, right.
Keller Williams, she didn't,
You
yeah.
know, a
Right.
lot of people are saying, are you gonna be bringing people in the house? I've heard that 3 times in the last.
I made some notes. Go ahead, tell me what else you think. Both of them were fantastic.
Yeah, nice job.
Both scenarios were really just worth it in itself. So what else did you think? Because I wrote some things down. Yes.
FYI, I'm not normally a listing agent, so,
Well done.
yeah, so
Well
I was
versed.
kind of winging it. Yeah.
Because what I wrote was just things that we can kind of take a little bit further. What else did you think about it? Would you list with her? Well, ultimately, like as did you were, like would you list with her? So to Dave's point, the first thing I wrote down was explain the role. So this is something that's going to be very, very instrumental for you, particularly with listings, but it can also apply to buyers as well. Explain to them that you're listing their house, but you're not going to drag people by the scruff of their neck into the house and make them buy your house. Example, I sold a property that was I was listing a property that was overpriced. This is what the seller told me. I want you to have a party in this overpriced condo with all of your gay friends to get it sold. So your reaction says it all. So you're asking me to be unethical and to bring people that I know and love into your house and influence them to purchase your overpriced condo. That's what you're asking me to do. The wife was an attorney. real life. So at that point, it was like, we need to have a little bit deeper conversation about what this role is. So, to capitalize on that, I know it's harsh, but again, real life. These are the things that you're gonna experience when you go out in the field. So you have to explain what the role is. So whenever they say, oh, you know, are you going to be the one doing all the showings? That's where I would have doubled back and said, I feel as though you're a little bit misinformed about the roles are, so if you're open to it, I'd like to explain a little bit how this works. We're representing you on your side, and then you go into your whole pitch. We market it, X number of websites. We do have people on the team that bring in buyers. We will also start marketing to a 252 agent body that brings more buyers to the table than any other brokerage, and about the market center, make sure your statistics are on point. However, no, if I do have a buyer, of course I will be bringing them in. But my job is going to be, all you buyers agents, bring your buyers. This is how this goes, and then they will report back to me, and I'll report back to you. That's how this works. Do you have questions about that? And then you can go a little bit further with it. You'll always get that person that will say, I want you here for every showing. I want you here for every single showing. So how would you curtail that?
Let me find another agent.
Besides that, how would you curtail that?
I would find out why is that being feeling, because they're gonna be represented by an agent too.
Asking more questions, but what would be to the detriment of being there for every showing?
Well, I'd let him know that a lot of times, well, almost always, the buyer does not want anybody there.
They'll feel uncomfortable.
With the, they just want to be there with their representative, their agent, so that they can freely talk and they can freely go through the house, take their time. When somebody's there, whether it be the seller or myself, they are going to hurry through, they're not going to see the house like they should, and they're not going to be able to talk about it like they should, so. And there are a lot of buyers that if they see that you are here, they won't even come in. Had that happen in real life.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and it does. So exactly what Betty said. We're providing a disservice to you in our marketing plan if we're there, and this is why. And then you kind of go into that. So explain the role for sure. So are you going to do an open house? Christian bottoms up. Yes, we'll do an open house. Now, I would have maybe taken that one step beyond, and again, we're just masterminding, like the benefits of an open house are, and I'm sorry that didn't happen with your other agent, but we'll definitely do an open house, and this is why. Now, doesn't that make you look that much bigger, better, greater? We can now market to your neighbors who come walking through your house and see what it is, because they've got a family member that's moving back from out of town, or if they want to pick their neighbor, they can say, oh my gosh, you should see the inside of that house, it's beautiful, they did great colors, they have a beautiful kitchen. Now they become your marketing department, even if it is your neighbors that aren't necessarily wanting to buy your house, they can also further help bring other people in. Now don't you look like a friggin' rock star when you throw something like that out. So capitalize on what the benefits of an open house would be, and then Christian locked up price. So what I wrote down is do a CMA. Did they do a comparative market analysis for you when you listed the house, right? So let me explain what that is. Again, more value.
Yeah, on his side. And, obviously this depends on how much time you have,
Of course.
but, he took the lister out, within a couple block radius on all of the homes that were for sale in the area, and just kind of compared, okay, they finished basement, what does their kitchen look like? Just kind of did all that, maybe 4 or 5 different homes. And at the end of it, kind of played a little game. It was like, all right, we're gonna play a little game now. Based on the homes you saw today, and compared to the house, your house, how much do you think that you should list your home for? It was just like a fun game.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. If you've got the time and the resource to do that, bring things like that in that we wouldn't customarily do. Yeah, I love that, because that kind of takes it and kind of places it in their lap. Now, to Dave's point, they want you to, so how do you bring those two worlds together? I'm going to give you my expert opinion based on what the market is saying your house is worth. I will give you what I feel is going to accomplish our goal. I am a facilitator, not decision maker. However, I will give you my expert opinion on exactly what I feel as though we should do, but ultimately the decision is yours. Do you see how I did that? I'm immersing myself in because I know better than you do, but I am not gonna be held responsible for you to point your fingers at me and saying, you told me to do it like this and it didn't work. That is how you do that, and you reiterate that facilitator, not decision maker. Do you have any questions about that? No. Are you comfortable with how we're going to set this up for you? Yes. After that listing appointment, what's the first thing you do? Your little fingerprints are on the keyboard. Per our conversation, it was great meeting you. This is what we decided. This is how we're gonna do this. Like, you make sure you've got back up. I'm telling you, get married to that per our conversation follow-up email. It will save you from everything. Because now you have it in writing, you get a response back, your butt is out of the sling, no matter how it shows up. Christian and I had a conversation about this morning. Marty and I had a conversation about it yesterday, and now it's coming up again. We don't make the decision, you do. This is not our thing, it's yours. Well, it looks like you're kind of like throwing them out there in the cold with no coach. Like, you've got to guide them, because you're the real estate professional, you're the expert with the data, you're the person that's running the comparative market analysis. So you've got to provide them with that information, influence them based on your professional ability, and then say, what are your thoughts? How do you want to do this? Your decision, let's go with it, do a follow-up, onward. Not only are you coming from contribution, you're supporting your commission, you're doing things at a higher level than everybody else's, but you're keeping yourself out of trouble, right? So, like, why not follow that best practice? So, that's the CMA and do your advice. Okay, so what about metaphors? Okay, so now I'm the king of the friggin' metaphor. Okay, so if something is sitting stale on the market, right? And they don't understand, well, what does that mean? That would be like, there's a person that wants a BMW. That's what they want. Their dream car is a BMW. That's what they want. So they go and they start looking at BMWs, and there's no descriptions, there's no pictures. All they know is that it's a BMW. And all of a sudden they go, I understand you have a BMW for sale. Yes. Are you available? Yes. Is it okay if I stop by and look at it? Yes. Here's my address. And you show up, and it's cantaloupe orange. It's not the BMW you wanted, right? It isn't. Like, you want black, red, green, gray, whatever it is. That is not appealing to you at all. So use metaphors just as if your house is on the market too long, it looks like maybe some fruit in the refrigerator that has spoiled and gone rotten and now nobody wants it. It's got to be fresh. If you keep it on too long, it's going to lose its appeal. If you're waiting for that one person that's going to come in and overpay from your house, overpay for your house from San Francisco, you got a better chance of getting hit by lightning or bit by a shark. Like, figure out a way to bring that around so that you're embracing the person, and it's a skill, you gotta work at it, but at least if you can get the person engaged, like, try to set forth examples that people can understand rather than just my word against yours, okay? The only other thing that I would have liked for you guys to do is, like that was kind of a heated conversation, is where are you going? Get them to the loving place. I'm moving into a ranch so that I don't have to climb stairs anymore. I don't have to worry about this huge yard anymore. I don't have to do this. How does that look to you? If we could get this all in place and we got that, would it make you happy? Like, well, we have a team of people that can start looking for where we're going to next once we accomplish this goal. Like, try to put some more contribution in. Take it off of what you're doing right then and there and try to focus on the person that's like, the black BMW is what I'm looking for, with the black interior. Wow, that'll make me really happy. Let's get this done. Make sense? Good. Useful information, I hope. All right. Any thoughts, guys? Anything else? That's all I got. That's it. Okay, so moving forward very quickly, we are going to try to solicit a young man named Tony Colegliolani, who is an appraiser. I'm going to try to get him in on Industry Day, just to kind of verse us a little bit more on how appraisals go. The things that we can do when we show up that will be an asset to the appraiser, but also won't piss them off. Because we got to be really careful, because as you know, appraisals are very subjective. They just kind of show up and they say, I think it's worth this amount. They have their data and their comparables and all that, but you don't want to piss off the waiter so they spit in your food. I'll put that, you know what I mean? So I'm going to try my best to get him in. He's a busy guy. I've worked with him multiple times, and he's made himself very, very available. He's also an inspector and a real estate agent. So he's really, really very well versed in what he does. appraisals are kind of this thing now, so, okay?
Mark, one thing I want
Yeah.
to say on the appraisal thing, because I have heard that a lot of people have been talking to the appraisers. Our whole thing with the appraisal packet is hand off,
Yeah, keep your mouth shut, yeah.
warm and fuzzy, and that's it. You don't have to discuss it, you don't have to, whatever, just make sure they know the whole house, or things that they might
I
not
provided this for you that
know.
might be helpful,
Yeah.
and you're done, yes.
Okay, so my question is, so today I have, we were talking about this yesterday, I am going to meet the FHA appraiser because the seller's agent is not, and I'm on the buying side.
Mhm.
What is your thoughts on that? No?
No, I mean, yeah, you can do it.
I mean, I'm
because you have to let
I'm
them in.
going, because I'm handing them a packet and everything because.
Well, your whole reason,
My
so
thing-
what our discussion was, your
Yeah.
whole reason was because you want it to praise really high.
I do for my,
so
I
that
feel
they
it's
do
my,
have the
I feel it's my
equity.
job as a, and not to interrupt you, but that's just my theory, my thought process is, I feel it's my job as their buyer agent and their best interest to make sure that that house appraises at what we're buying it for,
Mhm.
and if not, more.
Is that their best interest though?
What do you want to appraise?
Because what if it isn't going, it wouldn't normally appraise? What if it didn't normally appraise? Then you would be negotiating a lower price for them.
So you think my thing is just to let it go?
I've never heard of going for.
Okay, I didn't know, that's why I'm asking this.
It's a very good question.
It's a because I know all my seller listings, I'm always there with a
So
packet.
this
Because
is,
you do want to make sure it
Yeah,
appraises so
right.
that it sells. For a buyer,
You want to
what if
appraise
it wouldn't appraise?
Correct.
Now, if you know it's going to,
Yeah, I mean, for the I mean, I am very, I shouldn't
It
say I
depends on
know,
what you're-
I'm very confident.
yeah.
so this
And-
is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and I know you were talking about like, because you want to make sure that they have built-in equity automatically. Is it something that they want to go and get another loan immediately or something?
Correct, okay.
Is that, I mean, if that's why.
No, I'm just asking
then-
these, posing these questions, so that's,
So
that's
I'll
it.
peel this back one
Peel
more.
back one more layer.
layer. Okay, so why do you want it to appraise for your buyer?
Well, I guess that's true, because
Why do you want it to appraise?
we,
So you close it and you get paid. Is that in the best interest of your client?
there we go. Okay,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, that's why. we
I
have
think
this
it's because of
conversation.
on my side, this listing agent's been so challenging to get this deal done from the get-go, that my buyer really wants this house.
So, and I'm happy to like.
No, I
look at
absolutely,
it
that's why
about
I wanna
this.
talk
If it were
about this.
me, what I would do, I would say, Vincent comes for you. Let him do his thing.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant, I wasn't gonna sit there and all that, but,
That's it. I wouldn't try to,
Maybe
But-
nothing.
And the same thing, it's, why would you want, I would always want it to not appraise so that I have negotiating power to get a lower price, because every appraisal is gonna come in low.
Half hour a day.
oh, I,
Because they're getting the contract, they're appraising it just above. You know, now if they don't think it's gonna, it should appraise, they're not maybe, but when they do approve it, it's usually just above. It's crazy how close it is. And it's like, yeah, if they wouldn't get the offer, they'd probably never be like that. It'd probably never be on every time.
Well, and some appraisers, I'll tell you, and just in my own experience with listings, like if I had, you obviously have to be there as a listing agent generally to let the appraiser in. Like there was this foreign woman, had a very strong, thick German Russian accent, and as soon as I walked in, I was just being nice. I was like, thank you so much for coming out, I'm Mark, here's my card. Like, it was still like hanging in the air, and she was like, yeah, I got this. Just leave me alone, let me do my thing, I'll be in and out of here in like 25 minutes. I was like, okay, not a problem, just was being polite, here you go. I'm good, like, don't kick my ass, like, so, some of
And you
the,
don't get that very often, but,
yeah, I mean, now and then it happens, so I was like,
yeah.
you know, so I would always approach them like very, hey, just want to introduce myself and give you a card. Like, we're done. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
badger you about the appraisal. So, all the things that you will experience, and you will have more than billions of stories about this stuff as you get deeper and deeper into the marketplace. But we are here for your support. That's all I got. All right? Perfect. Great session, you guys. Thanks for coming in. I hope that was useful information. I enjoyed that.